looking from the outside in. Here I go again, falling behind, losing my mind. I'm pretending it's alright, listening to the soundtrack of my life. Oh, listening to the soundtrack of my life.
Hey, I'm Chris DeMakes, and I play in Less Than Jake.
And I'm Roger, and I play in Less Than Jake with that guy.
Yeah, so we're here today in lovely Nashville, Tennessee, at the Taylor Guitars showroom.
It's a lovely showroom. We're here hanging out, getting to play some beautiful guitars, and we might even play some songs, I guess. We don't have out-of-tune horns messing it all up. I mean, is it recording? No, man, it's cool to strip our stuff down. I feel like, you know, we have like this crazy show and it's high energy and it's all pumping and everything's jumping around and the lights are going. Then you kind of like get it down to the bare bones like that when him and I just play together. And it's like a different, pulls on a different emotional string. I don't know. It's fun to strip it down.
You know, when I first met Roger, he was living in the dorms at the University of Florida campus in Gainesville. And we used to play acoustic. And I remember we had a group of kids and we're in there, you know, having beers one night. And this girl looks over at me and she looked me dead in the eye. We had just met. We had maybe known each other for 2 or 3 months. She says, "You guys sound like you're professionals." You know, but that's how we learned to sing, was on acoustics, learned to harmonize together from the first time that I met him. So the acoustic thing isn't that weird for us, because that was the first way that we learned to sing together. My mom and dad were musicians, so I grew up in a musical household. They can both sing, my parents, really, really well. I was born, I think, with raw talent to sing, but I learned to sing in this band. I learned how to project and how to sing. And to stand next to this guy, you have to be loud. He's the loudest singer and the loudest bass rig ever. I've had sound guys in metal bands come up at festivals and go, "Your bass player's louder than any band I've ever mixed." You know, so I had to be loud. I had to project.
Yeah, I learned how to sing in church. So I was like singing in church, the little soloist kid at 10 years old, and I always was loud. So yeah.
He walks in church, now the room starts on fire.
I'm on a mission to see what's been missing. My favorite song is on repeat, but it's just not helping me. My eyes have been wider, but never been brighter. Something else is going on. I need a reminder of why I feel this way. There's a fine line between living a life, feeling alive. There are times that I've been looking from the outside in, and here I go again, falling behind, losing my mind. I'm pretending it's alright, listening to the soundtrack of my life. Oh, listening to the soundtrack of my life. Oh, I still believe in facing all my demons and everything that people promised, everything I've always wanted. My mouth has been open, my words have been stolen, and they've been used against me. It's starting to affect me, and now I feel this way. There's a fine line between living a life, feeling alive. There are times that I've been looking from the outside in, and here I go again, falling behind, losing my mind. I'm pretending it's alright, listening to the soundtrack of my life. Oh, listening to the soundtrack of my life. Oh, and it goes like this, and it takes me back, and it spins around and round and around and around. It goes around and always fades to black. There's a fine line between living a life, feeling alive. There are times that I've been looking from the outside in, and here I go again, falling behind, losing my mind. I'm pretending it's alright, listening to the soundtrack of my life. Oh, listening to the soundtrack of my life. Oh, listening to the soundtrack of my life. Oh, listening to the soundtrack of my life.
That's probably one of the most asked questions I get from younger musicians or people aspiring to be in a band is, what's your advice? And I always tell them, practice like your life depends on it, but you have to find the right people. You know, I found some incredible people in Gainesville, Florida to be in a band with that had my drive, my insanity, my ambition. You know, not everyone's cut out to live in a van, you know, for 9 months out of the year. And I found the people that were, and we always went that little step ahead. You know, if there was a band that was going to, you know, flyer 4 blocks of downtown, we were going to do 8 blocks. You know, we went a little bit further. You got to find people that share the same like-minded goals that you have.
Yeah, you just got to be true to yourself as a new artist. I mean, you can't try to follow any sort of trend or be like, oh, I want to sound like this artist. You just have to do the stuff that you actually comes out of you and that you love. And then if other people catch on to that, that's just a bonus, really. It's really about your self-expression and just getting it out of your system. I think that's the most important thing about being a writer, a musician, of like writing songs. Performing is kind of a different thing, but just writing songs and getting that out of your system just for you, you know, not for anybody else. You know, when we started this band, we started hanging out in 1992. I didn't think we'd be doing it this long. It's 30. We're on 30 years right now, man.
Yeah, you can't fathom as an 18-year-old kid anything 30 years down the road. We were living by the seat of our pants. One thing I'm very proud of to this day, it was never about money, because especially in the early days, there wasn't money. We were doing this because of our sheer love for it. And no, to think we would be doing it 30 years later, absolutely.
It doesn't seem like 30 years because it's just one tour comes after another tour, comes after a record, comes after another tour and another tour. And we just been on the treadmill for a while, so it really doesn't even feel like it's been that long. We've learned a lot being a band for this long, that's for sure. I think really just to enjoy the moment, because you never know when a pandemic's going to happen or your trombone player is going to break his rib or whatever. You know, the shows are fleeting. Life is going by pretty fast. So I just always try to be like, man, I'm really enjoying what we're doing right now because this is awesome.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've learned, I think within the band, maybe even outside of the band, as I've gotten older, is to pick my battles. You know, I used to sweat a lot of stuff. And at the end of the day, I get out there on the road and I can feel myself getting ramped up about something like, oh, the stage banner doesn't look right or this or that. And at the end of the day, it's that fan that comes up and says, that was the greatest show. They don't know that the backdrop's a little crooked, you know? So those little things I try not to stress about as much and try to, like, as he said, live in the moment.
Yeah, don't stress the little stuff, man.
This map hung up on the truck stop hallway door is looking worn and I can hardly read it anymore. I feel like I'm a speck thrown on the map and I can't help my urge to laugh. I never used to feel like, well, I'm half awake and half a world away. All my past mistakes and every misspent day, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'll try through my haze and half-shut eyes to count up all the reasons why I should be back at home. Well, I'm half awake and half a world away. All my past mistakes and every misspent day proves that I'll never change. I'll always stay the same and I wouldn't have it any other way. 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 Gainesville Rock City, Gainesville Rock City, Gainesville Rock City, yeah.
I think we've stayed relevant just by being ourselves. We really, the premise of this band was to have fun from day one. And now we're getting generations of people. We have grandparents and their kids and their grandkids that are coming to the shows. And it just, as Roger said a moment ago, we don't know where the time went. It just keeps rolling.
Yeah, we're just really lucky, I think, with our fan base. I think we just made a connection with certain people at a certain time, and it really stuck with them. And it's just kind of kept growing off of that tree of like, hey, I introduced you to my cousin and my little sister and blah, blah, blah. And now my kids. And that tree just kind of keeps growing. And it's just amazing, really. We're just really lucky.
I know what keeps it fresh for me from a live perspective, because we've always prided ourselves on being a live band. All the rest of it, the traveling and, some of it can get to be a headache, but the live show, that's paramount to what we do. And what I love is getting off stage and having, let's say, a particularly bad show, and someone comes up and they say, that was the greatest. You wwere so awesome tonight. And I always try to remember that when I get on stage, that they don't know what you're going through in your head. They don't know that the monitor didn't work, that they're just there for the show. And, you have to give them what they're there for.
Yeah, that crowd connection is like, especially like sort of when the pandemic happened, it was like crazy to be off of that and realize how addicted to it we were, of like that live energy. And like, I live for the live energy. It's the best drug out there. I practice every night for every show during the first 2 songs.
After that all goes downhill.
But I also really, really like, even after this long, I really like when me and this guy work on new songs. Like working on new songs is still one of the funnest things for me, because that's how the band started. We loved our songs back then, and we love our songs now. So that's big for me.
It's a great point. I always tell people that, you can go out and you can print T-shirts up of your band. You can get a fancy van and get a fancy guitar, but if you don't have songs, that's where it all begins, and that's what's still exciting to us.
We were the kids from the cul-de-sacs that got out somehow without looking back. It's over. It's over. We were the ones who grew up too fast on the front porch stairs, so we still had friends. It's over. It's over. We were the kids who were laughing last with big ideas and failed attempts. It's over. It's over. Repeat it now, repeat it with me. Explain why we were the ones who got away. Gets in the way, these memories will fade, so we always keep them locked away. Lock them away. Scrape and save and wait around for some better days. It's over. It's over. We were the kids who lived one by one, said we would when we were young.